He's dropping 34 points and making it look completely normal and easy.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
This is the stage we're at. I'm going to say this every single post-game episode. I'm going to continue to say it every single post-game episode. This is the point that we're at in Joel Embiid's career, where he's having a game that nobody's going to run to the internet and scream about. Nobody's going to run to SportsCenter Top 10. Nobody's going to run to Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman or Skip Bayless or Shannon Sharp and say, did you see what Joel Embiid did last night? These are games that are completely quiet. Nobody will talk about it whatsoever. And he dropped 34 points. I need you to understand how serious that is. This guy is leading the entire NBA in scoring. And yeah, you don't get to play the Boston Celtics every night. You don't get to play the Milwaukee Bucks every night. You don't get to play the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo every night. You don't get to play teams that can strategically maybe stand a chance of slowing down Joel Embiid. You don't get to play them every night. You get to play a lot of teams that just have to try to guard you with Mason Plumlee and Kevon Looney. But Joel Embiid isn't even having an off night. He's not having an off night. He's dropping 34 points and making it look completely normal and easy. He's averaging 33.5 points per game on the NBA season. It's still early in the season, but that number is relatively unheard of. Outside of James Harden in 2016 and Shaq in 2000 and Wilt Chamberlain. Michael Jordan, I'm sure, had seasons like that, mid 30 points. It's still legendary numbers. And it looks like, when Joel goes against somebody like Mason Plumlee, I'll always bring up Mason Plumlee because it's such an unfair advantage to Joel. But when Joel's going against somebody like that, or Kevon Looney and JaMychal Green, when you see it on the court, or when somebody who's probably not a Sixers fan sees it, they'll be like, oh, but look who he's playing against. But you got to look at it the other way. He's so good. He's so dominant. He's so skilled at his size. He's so unstoppable one-on-one near the painted area for most people on the planet that leads you to say, oh, look who he's playing against. You feel me? It's the same situation with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. They're so good completely on both sides of the ball, and the quarterback and the offensive line and the wide receivers and the defense and the defensive pass rush and everything. It leads you to say, oh, but look at the competition. They dominated this team. They dominated that team. But they're dominating those teams because they are that good. Joel Embiid is dominating these players, Kevon Looney, Mason Plumlee, whoever else, because he is that good. There is only a couple of players that exist. There's only a couple of human beings that exist that can slow him down with a basketball. And lately, it doesn't look like there's even 2.5 of them. Steven Adams, I said, is one of the only guys in the NBA that can guard Joel Embiid. He scored 34 on Steven Adams. Lakers, Anthony Davis, he put up 38. He dropped 30 plus against Giannis in a win against the Bucks. We're at the point now where I'm like, Joel is inside his prime. He is 100% in his prime and healthy right now. And again, the window is not very large with a player that's been injured a lot of his career. But when he's healthy, at this stage of his career, he might just be completely unstoppable. He might average 32 plus per game the entire season. And again, how's he not on MVP lists? I need to know how he's not on MVP lists. Don't give me the record argument because they got Luka Doncic at number 3. Don't give me the missed games argument because they got other players on that list that miss games. I need to know how Joel Embiid is leading the NBA in scoring at 32 plus points per game and is not on anybody's MVP list. Anyway, Joel did Joel things tonight. 34 points, made it look easy. 10 for 12 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Masterclass, but he's so damn good that it feels normal. And people start to take it for granted. And people start to just feel like that's what's supposed to happen. I guess I'm lately like having the perspective of we're not appreciating what's happening on our TV screens every night. We're not appreciating it. People don't appreciate these things, you know. When Jordan was in his prime, I was a very young kid, but I remember people older than me saying he's a ball hog. He doesn't pass. He gets this, and this. The officials give him this call. This. There's always negativity. There's always these people that just want to, they see something great happening and their mind initially goes to, how can I discredit this? How can I try to bring this down and make it seem like it's not as great as everybody thinks it is? That's what people do with Joel. Well, he needs to get under the basket more. Well, he needs to do this better and this better and this better. Do you understand? This is a 7-foot tall, 280-pound human being handling a basketball and scoring 32 plus points per game in an NBA game. We need to appreciate these things. It's little things that I see too. There was a play today that won't be shown anywhere. Won't be shown on ESPN, won't be shown anywhere. But I need to talk about these kind of things. As simple as this. Joel Embiid, somebody kicks the ball up to him after a rebound right about half court. This is a 7-foot, 280-pound center. He takes a dribble. He hesitates at the three-point line. Little shoulder shimmy. Little Kevin Durant takes a left-handed dribble and hits DeAnthony Melton on a no-look pass to the basket for a wide-open layup. You got a guy that size that can pseudo play like a guard. I could rant about this all day. I think Joel Embiid is one of the most amazing talents I've ever seen exist in my life watching basketball. And I guess I'm just going to be frustrated kind of his whole career that people don't appreciate what's in front of them. And the older I get, the more I realize that these things are gone like that. I'm old enough now that I've seen players in college be drafted, watch their whole NBA career, and watch them retire. And once you start to do that, you start to realize this doesn't last very long. That's all I'm saying.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.